Tamar Braxton simply turned the entire DNA tale upside down and revealed that Mendeecees believed Harris was the baby's biological father in a scene so emotional the studio walls nearly collapsed. She threw the papers onto the table and commanded that all the test lines, markers, and numbers now pointed squarely at him and no one else. Her voice was shaking from sheer rage. Yandy Smith's expression turned icy as soon as Tamar was done talking. With her fingers pointing like a loaded weapon, she leaped out of her seat and screamed that the whole thing was a total hoax. A desperate scheme to destroy her family and drag Mendeecees back into the mess. The room split in two at that moment. Sitting motionless, Mendeecees' eyes dart between the two women as if he were seeing the burning of his whole existence. Tamar was adamant that she would not give up because she had the real results. The ones that were hidden, the ones that exposed the reality that everyone tried to hide. Yandy's voice grew louder as she charged that Tamar's disregard for science was ruining their marriage. The phones started blowing up. Even though they weren't in the building, family members began calling, emailing, and asking for answers. Tamar's shocking claim is promptly supported by one side, while the other publicly accuses her of lying. As the tension mounted, you could feel the betrayal in the air. No one knew who to believe. The DNA results between the two ladies were like a ticking time bomb. They continued to maintain that they were the only ones speaking the truth. Careers would be in jeopardy, the entire circle would be upended, and everyone would have to choose a side before the evening was out. Yandy Smith circled like a leopard about to charge, while Tamar Braxton stood over the table with the DNA record still in her palm. Harris seems to have just witnessed the catastrophic collision of his past, present, and future, according to Mendeecees. "These numbers do not lie, Mendeecees," Tamar said, pointing to the report. "The tension in the studio might have broken a steel cable." Everyone in the room is aware that Yandy cut her off so fast that the word music almost hit the floor. "You had a fantasy as you came into this room. This child carries your blood. You are trash for showing off that useless paper like a treasure. And you want me to succumb to your intense need for attention." Mendeecees finally heard his faint, cracked voice. "Play some baby, please." You two simply stopped, but none of the women heard him. Tamar turned to him, tears streaming down her cheeks. Calm cannot exist until reality sets in. The open Yandy laughed loudly, echoing off the walls. "You want peace now that you sat silent while they attempted to erase your own child," she said. "In this case, the only thing that is real is that you have been waiting for a chance to come back into our life and destroy everything we have made outside of the studio." Already, the phones at the door began ringing. Family-related group discussions broke out like fireworks. One of Yandy's cousins referred to Tamar as a homewrecker in a story. Fans flooded the comment sections in a matter of minutes after Tamar's sister responded, "Wrecking liar," claiming that Yandy had been hiding skeletons for years, and that the internet would reveal every last TV bone. "I will make sure that every door in this industry closes on you forever if you ever mention my husband's name in the same sentence as that infant again," she said. With a growl, Yandy approached Tamar until their noses nearly touched. Instead of retreating, Tamar leaned in closer. "The real DNA results have already been sent to every blog and attorney, so you'd better start packing. When they land, your perfect little fairy tale is complete." Mendeecees stood up fast. Both women paused for a moment when his chair fell over. He looked at Yandy, then at Tamar. His eyes hurt so much that the building was silent for a heartbeat. "I didn't know it wanted any of this." Yandy's face twisted for the first time, threatening tears, but she blinked them away and directed all of her anger at Tamar. His voice was barely audible as he spoke, "But someone in this room is playing a game that could destroy everyone if the music is fake, and I have a right to know if that test is legitimate. You compensated someone you've always hated for choosing me. This was sown by you." "I had no plans," Tamar responded harshly and unyieldingly. "Your husband's figures match exactly, and the lab finished the job." At that moment, one of Mendeecees' old street friends came into the studio and offered his own phone as evidence. "And now you're ready to ruin an innocent child to earn points. Hey, the bloggers have screenshots already. People are going crazy outside the building after someone released the first page. Science doesn't care how you feel, even if you shout lies all night long." It was hard to stop the energy that had spilt into the hallway as a small group of fans were being stopped by security. Some were yelling Tamar's name, while others were pleading with Yandy to stop it. The public will find out if Mendeecees believes Yandy withdrew while the man gently held her arm. Yandy went for her purse as she was about to leave, but Tamar stopped you. A father who is present is what the child needs. The companion who had tried to mediate the situation while walking said, "Everyone needs to breathe and wait for the official lab confirmation," but Yandy was past. "It seems like you're picking the woman who just tried to blow up our entire life, so don't touch me until you've decided which side you are on." She spoke straight into the lens as she turned to face the still rolling cameras and listened. Tamar Braxton's response in this series has always been to lift the sheets, so the camera can film each sentence and let the viewer assess it for themselves. The entire performance is a setup, and when the real findings are published, Tamar will be exposed as the biggest liar. "I'm done standing up for people who have never stood up for me." There was a tangible sense of betrayal. The wounds from years of sidelong glances and whispers were suddenly exposed, and internet fans were already making movies. The story was disintegrating in real time, and neither of the women seemed ready to stop it. The group communication broke down after Yandy's best friend texted her Mendeecees. Some are piecing together the leaked screenshots with old footage of Yandy and Mendeecees fighting, while others are finding old recordings of Tamar discussing family secrets. Yandy read the message aloud in a poisonous tone. "Because of your antics, many people in my own social circle are doubting me, and Tamar exacted revenge." While half of us think that Tamar has finally lost it, the other half speculate that there might be more going on, and that message only made matters worse. The lights in the studio felt hotter, and as the cameras rolled, a producer whispered in the background that this was television gold. Maybe one of your group members finally realized. The three people in the middle of the storm, however, felt as though the ground was shattering beneath them. One woman is staring at Mendeecees, while the other is like a man stuck between two hurricanes. For the first time in years, he didn't seem to know which option would cost him the least as the next round of notifications hit every phone in the room at once. The most recent alarm indicated that a second Dina report was on its way, and Tamar and Yandy froze in place after hearing that one comment, as if the stakes had suddenly become too high for either of them to handle. The much-anticipated second Dina report hit all of the studio's screens like lightning, and the silence that followed was louder than any scream. Yandy Smith stood still as if the floor had vanished beneath her feet, but Tamar Braxton was the first to grab her phone, her eyes darting over the new numbers. Nindy notices that when Harris leans in close enough to read over Tamar's shoulder, his face disappears so fast that it looks like a plug has been taken out. The new data showed that the exact same match probability was 99, with 9% pointing straight at him again, but this time the lab stamp was changed. Yandy was the first to recover, and she gave out a loud cry. The chain of custody documents showed a second independent facility, but it was a later date. "If this is my last assignment, I'll show you how to stack the deck." Tamar flipped the phone so the cameras could record every number. "You have to pay 2 labs for this scam. The science has doubled down, but you may call it a lie till your neck hurts." Mendeecees noticed that he was exerting pressure to his temples with both hands. "Then explain why this child has markings from your husband from 2 distinct buildings in 2 different places." The weight of the occasion rocked him. "I have to speak with the labs personally. Instead of depending on screenshots that are making the rounds online, I need to hear it straight from the individuals who carried out the testing." While Tamara called a publicist on her own and demanded a full press release within an hour, Yandy was already on the phone with her lawyer, requesting an urgent injunction to stop further disclosures. One group gathered behind Tamara, murmuring that the truth had finally come to light after years of denial, while another group gathered behind Yandy outside the building, demanding that the reports be finished. Some were brandishing flags that proclaimed truth over loyalty, while others were yelling Yandy's name like a battle cry as the mob pushed 3 supporters up against the barricade. A famous blogger was shouting into her phone that this baby upheaval will bring down the entire love and hip-hop universe. A studio producer tried to diffuse the tension by suggesting a commercial break, but neither of the 2 women took him seriously, and Yandy retreated into Tamara's personal space with her fingers slashing the air. "The number of live broadcasts is growing every second. I won't let you win. You've been against me since Mendeecees decided to live with me, and now you're turning a defenseless child into a weapon." Tamara's reply was harsh and dismal. "The person who ignored the truth for years is the only one losing tonight. I don't have to win. The Dina used to do it. Mendeecees finally watches an explosion, shattering the calm he had been attempting to preserve. You two should take a moment to stop talking. This has nothing to do with your argument or your cameras. It has to do with a child that I might be linked to, and if it's true, everything changes for all of us. Someone's phone began playing a leaked audio tape. The second sample was processed in accordance with protocol, and the lab worker's voice confirmed that the match was strong. His powerful song startled them into a brief silence long enough for another alert to reverberate through every device. When the woman's face appeared, Yandy Smith and Tamar Braxton tensed, and the screen shattered as she screamed that the audio was distorted. Yandy's countenance twisted with complete disbelief, and she grabbed the phone and threw it against the wall. The last shred of self-control was blown away by that one delay. Music. Is 48 hours too long for you to keep using these phony documents to destroy my marriage? The technician calmly and collectedly confirmed that an emergency retest had been issued by mutual legal demand, and that preliminary markers were already being processed, even though the full report would not be available for another 48 hours. You should have considered the fact that reality does not follow your schedule before you spent years pretending to be the only woman who ever mattered in this man's life. Tamar Braxton shot back without pausing. Yandy Smith screamed and struck the table with her fist so hard that the lights shook. Harris moved between them, according to Mendeecees. Again, he lifts his neck with both hands, revealing veins that resemble cables. I have to accept whatever those data show. Tears started to well up in Yandy's eyes, but they did not fall. You two are currently using this child as a weapon as well. Declaring herself to be human, she thrust a finger into his chest and begged him to stop staring at us and get out of our lives. It's my fault. Tamar laughed. A sharp sound broke the tension. He seems guilty because of the reality of the blood, and in his heart he already feels it. The studio door opened once more. This time, a collection of fan remarks was already playing on a tablet when Tamar's older sister rushed in. They were scrolling so fast that the comments were becoming hazy. Some viewers praised Tamar as a hero for seeking the truth, while others characterized her as a crafty evil who waited for the right moment to strike. In one audio, a well-known radio host said the whole thing smelt like a ratings ploy. In another, as Mendeecees acknowledged months of suppressed worries, his longtime companion swore in real time. Yandy glanced at the tablet for 3 seconds during a late-night excursion before setting it aside. I don't care what other people think on the internet. This is my family, and regardless of the number of viewpoints, I will never accept a lie. The friend who had come earlier made another attempt to defuse the situation by reminding everyone that a child was in the middle of the storm. But Yandy tricked her too. You have no right to lecture me about children because you have been providing me with softer information behind my back. The excitement hit the friends like a slap and they staggered back, denying everything. But the damage had already started to spread. The crew suspected that sides were being chosen in real time, and that careers would not survive the consequences. Mendeecees drew both women to a more relaxed section of the performance. His voice carried a profound pain. This cannot happen in front of the cameras. If we can't take ownership of the child, the attorneys will write comments about it for the rest of its life. Tamar relaxed and put her hand near his arm for a short while. I didn't come here to cause trouble. I came here because silence was starting to seem like participation in something inappropriate. Something inside Yandy snapped when she saw the gesture. She grabbed Mendeecees by the jacket and pulled him back. You're not comforting the woman who just tried to burn our house on fire. You decide for yourself. In front of every moving camera, the desire between them was greater than any Dina report at that same moment. Mendeecees opened their mouths to speak, but nothing came out. The camera panned in to catch every moment of doubt on his face as the throng outside began chanting anti-government slogans. One side's boisterous Tamar exposed the truth. In reaction to Yandy's stance, powerful security radios on the other side crackled with reports that more people were arriving, including some prominent characters from past seasons who saw opportunity in the chaos within the building. A junior producer murmured that the network bosses were already discussing an emergency special, while another crew member surreptitiously captured reaction shots of the remaining cast members who had gathered in the green room. Some individuals were frightened when the train crashed, while others were thrilled. Yandy's jacket could not be taken off by Mendeecees. A deadly hush greeted her voice. If you can't look me in the eye and tell me that the claims are untrue, we're done tonight. For everything family, marriage, etc. Tamar's voice was firm and icy. Furthermore, if he says they are untrue, he will be lying to the only person who might still be related to him. The triangle remained where it was. 3 hearts pounding, 3 futures hanging on the next sentence. Anyone could choose to speak at that same moment. Another notice appeared on the phones.